Hi, today we're going to talk about x and y intercepts of linear graphs. So y-intercepts we are familiar with from slope-intercept form, which is our y equals mx plus b, where b is your y-intercept. So that's really easy. If we have an equation like y equals 3x plus 2, without even thinking we know, oh, the y-intercept is 2. But unfortunately, it's not that easy to find the x-intercept. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that we can find an x-intercept. So let's take a look at this first graph. You'll see I just have a whole bunch of graphs, and we're not going to look at every single one, but we'll look at a few of these. When we look at a graph, we can easily identify an x and a y-intercept. Y-intercept, that we're familiar with from slope-intercept form, is just right here. It is where does the line cross the y-axis, which in this case is 4. And right here happens to be our our x-intercept. So the x-intercept is actually where does the line cross the x-axis. So it's really very similar to a y-intercept. Now the last thing is just that it's not just the number 4, but it's actually a coordinate point where the x value is 0 and the y value is 4. And that's the y-intercept. And then over here with the x-intercept, well, the x, it's just the coordinate of the point. The x-intercept is -2, comma, and then the y value, we don't go up or down at all, so it's 0. So we have the number -2 and the number 4, and when they're written as an intercept, as a coordinate point, it's the y-intercept is 0, 4 because it's x, y. And then the x-intercept is written -2, 0. Again, it's x, y, just like the alphabet goes x, y, z. We stay alphabetical here. So it's pretty easy, right, to find the intercepts on a graph. Let's just take a look at one more, just so you can see. How about we look at this one? And again, our intercepts here. Here we have a y-intercept of 4, so 0, 4. And here we have an x-intercept of 5, so 5, 0. And we can do the reverse. So here we were given a graph and we were told to find the intercepts. We could do the opposite. If they told us the y-intercept and they told us the x-intercept and they said draw the graph, well, all we have to do is plot the point here, plot the point there, and connect it with a line. We could even go a step farther and find the equation if we needed to, find the slope and find the y-intercept. So that is one way to do intercepts on a graph, is honestly just looking at it. But we're not always that lucky doing the intercepts. So let me show you if I can find the right buttons. One more thing about intercepts. So let's say we have this equation, y equals 4x minus 12. Well, and we have to find the x and y-intercept of this. Well, we could graph it, because once we graphed it, that'd be really easy to find the x and y-intercepts, just like we practiced doing. But we can't always graph it because we don't always have graph paper with us. The y-intercept is super easy, always is, because it's just this number here, -12. And we would write that as 0, -12. But the x-intercept's a little bit more difficult, takes a little bit more work. We know that we're going to have a 0 right here. The y value is going to be 0. So I'm actually going to plug that into my equation. Y is 0 equals 4x minus 12. Now it is just a 2-step equation. I'm going to draw my wall. I'm going to add 12 to both sides. So now I have 12 equals 4x. And then divide by 4 on both sides, and x equals 3. So our x-intercept is 3. Here, I'll write that in there here too. Okay, let's try one more, just so you can get the gist of it. So let's say we have y equals -1/2 x plus 5. Well, as usual, the y-intercept, that's really easy. It's just this number here, 5. And so we have it 0, 5. The x-intercept takes a little bit more work though. We know it's going to be some number, comma 0. So I'm going to plug in 0 right here for y. Negative 1/2 x plus 5. And now it's a two-step equation we can solve. Subtract 5 on both sides. Oh, I forgot my wall. Now we have a negative 5 equals negative 1/2 x. And I'm going to divide by negative 1/2 on both sides. Now, when you're dividing by fractions, be careful because divide by negative 1/2 is not the same as divide by 2. So just be careful because actually negative 5 divided by negative 1/2 equals a positive 10. So our our x-intercept is 10, which is 10, 0. So that is x and y-intercepts of linear graphs.